Today, students are very smart. They can access information from internet and there are many sources. Nitya ma'am, do we really need teachers' textbooks nowadays?
Well, it's a difficult question to answer, but however, I can tell you that it's no longer possible to teach from textbooks. Teachers need to go beyond the classroom, they need to go beyond the textbook in order to teach children. Unless you give them a good experience of the concept, they are not going to learn enough. They might as well access it from the internet. That is the challenge facing teachers today.
True, textbooks are just mere guidelines. But at CS, we focus on learner attributes like confident, innovative, engaged, reflective, and most importantly, being responsible for their own learning.
That's very, very important. And those attributes will not be developed if the teacher is hanging on to the textbook. The teacher will need to go beyond in order to develop those. That is why today the teacher is called a motivator. In the last decade, the teachers got the nomenclature facilitators. They were no longer teachers. But now, in this 21st century, they have become motivators. And there is a great difference between an expert and an experienced teacher. An expert teacher is one who will do all of this and develop those attributes. But an experienced teacher will keep repeating the same content year after year. So the motivation aspect will not be there.
Very true. And it's nice to hear from you that nowadays we are called as motivators.
That's good.
Teaching is an art which is to be appreciated, as well as science which involves scientific process. And the beginning point of this process is teacher. In the present world, we have many teachers with good content knowledge. Is that enough?
Definitely that alone will not do. Yes, you need good content knowledge, it's vital. It's like half the job done. But the remaining half can be completed only when the teacher knows how to deliver it to the students. They need to repackage the content in such a way that students can access it easily. That adaptation is definitely important.
Absolutely. So which means you're talking about teachers training plays a vital role.
Absolutely.
The learning assessments are very important. At CS, we follow assessment for learning and not assessment of learning.
Yes, there is a difference between the two.
True.
And that's important. It is not just the classroom experience. First thing is teachers engage in what is called a diagnostic test. And those diagnostic tests tell you where the child stands. And they can take the class forward. They do what is called the front loading. Isn't that what you do?
Yes.
So teachers are observing them and assessing them. This is called formative assessment. And the feedback that a teacher is able to give in the classroom is a vital aspect of learning. And that is what impacts learning very much. The summative assessment at the end of the term is cumulative and tests a bulk. And that is what we base our report cards on. But still, they play the same role as formative because the summative assessment of one term tells us what to do in the second term. So assessment for learning. And that is what is very important.
Also, when you're speaking about feedback, I am reminded about the research done by John Hattie. He says, he quotes few important factors which contribute for students' learning, and he says impact of learning. So first he mentions about giving frequent feedback, and he also highlights the impact of learning depends on teacher-student relationship. So he gives more importance to these two factors. And at CS, we teachers are always available to students. We understand each and every student needs. We understand their interest, we understand their likes and dislikes. We gather information from parents during meetings to have a complete idea or complete knowledge of a particular student.
That's very good. I mean, that's how it should be. And the fact that you all are available to all the children all the time, I think, is also a motivator. And that is why I think children are very happy at CS. I have never come across a student who resists coming to school.
And I have never seen any teacher in CS grudge the time spent with the student.
You know why? Because at CS we believe that 1 year is not just a pathway to the next year. It is a pathway to higher learning. That is why. And we also believe in CS Academy that teaching is a work of
the heart.